Slot management and airline interlining should be a key option for local airlines. That's coming from our first guest.
We cannot be separated from the rest of the world. When dollar goes up, fuel prices goes up. And deregulation is what is in vogue now, which we are very happy about. But then, if you deregulate, where do we get the dollars? No airline is licensed to import fuel on their own. We are relying on government for assistance. In a country like Libya, where they have the lowest Jet A1, it's subsidized heavily by government. The same with Emirates. Emirates is doing 21 flights into this country. So they fuel up all from their country and top up here because they are heavily subsidized. So the competitors are at a disadvantaged position because they have to buy. But here is an open field. Government says marketers should sell any price to that. And as long as it takes 60% of the cost of your operation, it's going to be heavy, and this body will be passed by to the passengers. There is no availability. That's the problem now. There is no all these subsidiary boys, they are just doing PMS. Nobody is doing aviation. But thank God, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources said yesterday that Kaduna and Port Harcourt will be producing specifically aviation fuel, which we believe it's a very good way to alleviate the problems of the private airlines, especially the domestic operators. They have problems getting the kind of money. You can imagine fueling up a 737 with almost how many tons, and you only have 37 passengers. And if you increase prices of fares, another problem entirely. So we need government to assist us to make sure whether levies are removed, duties are removed, but the price is getting crazy now. From field report, we'll be hearing that most airlines cannot pick fuel and all those things. And passengers, so we thought NCA, that's why NCA really NCA should come online and live to the public that, look, this fuel thing is not pertinent to domestic operators again. It's just not available. Just like PMS was not available. Nobody was importing because of the cost of dollar. Nobody. We are looking at the modular refineries the Honorable Minister was talking about. If you have 2 or 3 specific modular refineries who can do 5,000 metric tons in a day, end of story. End of story. Once the fuel price is available, there will be no delay, on-time rate departure.
Local refining capacity and government support to this industry will go a long way in tackling this problem. That's what our second guest tells us.
The cost of aviation, really, about 80% is directly affected by the foreign exchange. From the fuel that we buy, although in Naira, but it's hedged against the dollar because they have to import it in dollars, and it goes with whatever the rate is, the international rate per day, to the spare parts, to our insurance, to as minimum as even the simulator training by the pilots. We are asking the government, and we've asked the government, as you know, because it's pretty difficult at this time, because cost is high. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties, but it's very, very, very high for us. So we've met the government to see how the government can come in to grant aviation. Because really, the catalyst for any economy is aviation. As they say, if you conquer the sky, you conquer the ground. So we are looking at where the government will come in with us to subsidize, not to really subsidize, I don't want to use the word subsidize, to partner with us, the airlines at this time, and cushion the effects of the devaluation. Because really, as you say, to land one tire for an aircraft today, a tire is about $4,000. And if you take $4,000, if we have to go to the parallel market to go and assess form, $4,000 for one tire at best. Because the tire now, we are paying duty, as you know. We are the only transportation in Nigeria that is paying VAT. We are the only airline that I know in the world that is paying VAT. Even the British Airways and the international carriers flying into Nigerians don't pay VAT. So going to the parallel market to go and buy funds at that rate, it's obviously a no-no. So the government, that's why we're dialoguing with them to create that window for aviation, because really, if we are going to be charging that same rate that we are charging, it's not good. It's eventually an insolvent case that we are going to be facing. And we are negotiating with the government with open fronts. The government is listening. So we are romancing them, and we are talking with the government to see how we can make this thing come forth. We're not asking for rebates. We're not asking for intervention, but we are just asking for unnecessary taxations and double billing, multiple billings and everything to be taken away so that we can face the real charges. Because in trying to take all these 5%, 2%, this levy, that one, it ends up being bulky on the passengers. And we all need to think about Nigeria right now, and that's why we, the airlines, are thinking more for Nigeria.
Concessioning of the rehabilitation works on 4 major terminals is part of the federal government's plan for the sector. We'll take a look at this on News Flash. That's after the break. Do join us again.